Assalamu alaikum, everybody. How you guys doing? Thank you for stopping by the stream. It is your boy AntWestFitnessBB back again with another video where we focus on not only just mental health, but we also focus on finances and we focus on the spirituality of one's individual reality. So let me just go ahead and say that this is day 6, and it honestly has been past day 6. We're actually on, think like what has been day um, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. It's been 8 days. We're on day 8 actually, but for the chapters, we're on day 6. So when the chapters become a little bit shorter, I will be doing obviously I will be doing just a little bit more shorter chapters. With the short, when it comes to the chapters being shorter, I would be doing more chapters, and I'll do a little bit of a longer stream, just to compensate for that particular thing. So I know that it's midday for some. Well, to me, it's technically past midday. It's still 1:11 p.m. I think like in other places of the world, it's iftar for some people. So I do understand that a lot of people may show up for this particular stream, but it's okay. I understand that that's the case. The time differences are way different. But I wanted to go ahead and do this early since I have the time to do it early. I wanted to go ahead and knock this out, so I can not only just learn more about the Quran, but also so I can, go about my day. I still got to do some errands. I got to clean up a little bit. It was in the midst of cleaning, but it's perfectly okay. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Osman, thank you for stopping by. What's up, Ali? Thank you for stopping by. And a bit early. I am a bit early in today. The thing is because it's Saturday. I don't work. Hopefully, I'm praying actually. I'm a little nervous because I don't know like how the whole thing works with my job as far as like the Juma prayer thing. All I know is that I forgot to clock out, and they didn't take any of my time away. So I'm assuming that it's perfectly okay that I still went to that prayer and they still made up that was perfectly okay that I can not have to make up for the time because I did not clock in today, and I don't know if I didn't get any message, I didn't receive any kind of notification about the me not clocking in. But regardless, I'm perfectly fine right now. Hopefully, and even if that was the case, hopefully if there was some kind of mishap, then I can make up for it. But nonetheless, uh, I wanted to go ahead and say, yeah, I have more time today, so I wanted to do this a little earlier because I know that some people it might be iftar in the different parts of the world, and usually when I get on the stream, it's usually around 5:30, around 6 o'clock, and I know some people are like it's like 1 o'clock in the morning for some people. Right now, it should be about iftar time, so I just wanted to make sure, or past that slightly, and I wanted to make sure that I can go on ahead and make this reaction. So this is an hour and 13 minutes, a little bit longer than the last one, but we're gonna get through it, inshallah. I'm personally, I was feeling really good yesterday. I'm actually going to upload a video a little bit later. It's going to be a short video. It's not going to be very long. I didn't really make the video too long simply because I wanted to, simply make a video that was quick and easy. So I did record my first Juma prayer experience yesterday. It wasn't once again, it's not going to be very long. I didn't want to be too disrespectful or anything like that. But I know obviously it's perfectly fine to record and things like that. But I just wanted to embrace the full experience, even though I didn't know really how to pray. You're going to learn more about my experience in that video. I also reconnected with my friend, and he actually has his brother is actually sending something for me as a gift. He's sending me a rug, and I think he's sending me a kufi or something. So that's going to be very interesting. Hopefully, inshallah, hopefully that'll be a good gift because honestly, I don't know where to get some of the products. I know I could go online, but I don't want to deal with the shipping and handling and the waiting and things of that sort. So I really wish there was a place like nearby somewhere that they sold these things. But it's all good. Nonetheless, we're going to get into this video today. So Liz Z Fox, I do not read Arabic. I'm so sorry, but walaikum assalam, assalamu alaikum. Thank you for stopping by. Already had iftar an hour ago. Okay, I'm about to say. I know, and I know it's a little bit later there, so I know for a fact that you probably haven't. There probably people are having iftar already. If not having iftar, they're about to, or they're literally getting ready for bed. So I just wanted to make sure I did this early, so everyone had a chance to watch the video, and they can react to it. So yeah, but hopefully I can receive those gifts. Those gifts will be great. I don't, obviously I don't. It's not like I want the gifts, or like not want the gifts, but it's not like I'm expecting the gifts. But if I get the gifts, inshallah, I'm very grateful. For my friend and his friend for giving me those gifts. And we also talked to, well, my friend talked to the sheikh, I believe, of the mosque, and pretty much already confirmed that they have classes for me to learn how to actually learn how to pray. So hopefully I can take some classes. I haven't reached out to him yet about that, but maybe I will after this stream. But nonetheless, it was a very peaceful. I felt very at ease and I felt at peace when I felt like that was the most at peace I felt in a long time since I had gone to do anything. Like the only time I have ever felt that much at peace was a long time ago, and I think I think that was when I was maybe like a teenager, and I remember going to church and there was just this beautiful sermon one time, and I remember like it was so touching to me because I can't remember the specific thing we were talking about, but they were talking about something very deep, and I felt so at ease. Like I felt like my heart was cleansed of all the like bad things, and that's how I felt yesterday at the mosque after I went to the prayer and went to the lecture. It was a really beautiful thing, and then I saw all different types of people there from Middle Eastern to black to even I think I saw a Latino person there, white. I think I saw a white person there, an African. I've seen all different types of ethnicities there, and the thing is, I wanted to just talk about this a little bit before we started. Walaikum assalam. Thank you for stopping by, Muhammad. Ashir. Walaikum assalam. Thank you for stopping by. Um, I was literally just in a stream just a moment ago. But this is, I'm not going to talk about where I was in the stream, but I was in the stream a while ago and I was talking to, I literally, as soon as I entered the stream, there was a Muslim brother in there talking about, I think relationships or something. And the girl that hosts the stream was just talking about it, and then I honestly was like already shocked because I was like, "Wow, this is amazing! Someone's talking about it in here." So I said, "Wa alaikum assalam to, or assalamu alaikum to all the brothers that were the brother and the sister are in there." And it is a beautiful thing in Islam, definitely. But one of the sisters, I believe she was born Muslim, but she is part of the LGBT community, and she honestly was kind of going in a little bit on the religion. And I'm not gonna lie, like I was feeling some kind of not disdain, but I was kind of feeling like a little like I felt sideways, or I was looking at her a little sideways, depending on the things that she was saying. And talking about the four wives, the basic things everybody talks about, the four wives, why women can't walk by themselves. And I was really trying to explain from excuse me, my mouth is dry, so yeah. Um, I was trying to explain things to her as far as like for one, I understood why these rules are in place, and which I totally agree with most of a little bit on the rules, a little bit. I wouldn't say all the way, but I do understand to a degree like why women deserve to be protected. As far as like they need a male companion to walk with them places, things like that. But otherwise, I understand like how some women feel when it comes to the rules of jurisprudence of essentially talking about how come men have the four wives. Personally, I don't think I will ever have four wives. I don't think I can emotionally handle it. But they were just talking about how like even with me feeling the way I felt, they were just like, no, it's just the fact in general that men can have four wives, period, and women can't. And it was just like, well, I think like that's like something that I personally, well, from my understanding, it's just that it makes more sense for a man to have more wives than a woman actually trying to have more husbands, because it doesn't make any sense. Because if a man really wants to give you his offspring, you're going to have to wait a ridiculous amount of time in order to give him that offspring. And I think like, that's just one of the examples. But I also think to myself that I just think that with women being a little bit more emotional, it would be a little bit more difficult than women think to have multiple partners. Now, some people are different. There's exceptions to the rule, but I don't. Obviously, sometimes they say like the exception should make the rule, And I don't necessarily agree with that statement. However, I believe in some circumstances it should. In that kind of particular circumstance, I think it should, because men can give kids constantly. They can reproduce quickly. And, but I say all this to say that it made me, at first I was already starting to feel some sort of resentment because she was just kind of going in without even trying to listen or understand. Speaking with this other woman that was hosting the stream, kind of giving her, feeding her the idea that this Islam is a bad thing. And it kind of reminded me for a moment, like, why I decided to enter this religion in the first place. Because in the dating world today, or just in the world today, like, so many people are confused. People talk about progression and people talk about all these things about like how we should move the needle forward as far as like how our society is set up. But at the same time, they don't take into consideration other people. All they do is take into their minds of what they believe and what they think is to be right or what they feel should be true. And I personally understand that. However, you can't always go into every situation thinking about you, yourself, and you got to literally go into other situations thinking about other people as well and how that impacts their life. And no matter how many times people try to make it seem like back in the day that's so archaic, there are so many archaic rules and customs that apply to the world that they should be obliterated or totally taken off the board as far as like being a certain set of rules or certain ways of living. And I don't believe in my heart of hearts that people back then were that dumb that people think that, as dumb as people think they were. Of course, there was some kind of ideologies that were a little bit off the course of natural things, but it was a different lifestyle back then. And I don't like it when people go onto different platforms and bash the religion. But I'm not gonna lie, I was feeling the type of way. But for a second, I was thinking I'm not gonna be, this, and I want people to take from this. I'm not trying to like flip the script, but I'm trying to say people should take from this what I'm trying to say at this current moment. And that's being, even when people make you angry and people make you upset and people don't really take the time to understand, sometimes you can't allow their actions, you can't allow their ignorance to affect you. You got to learn to just kind of brush it off and just say, inshallah, hopefully that they find the right path and hopefully they understand that one day all this will click to them and then they're going to come back and they're going to realize that they were wrong, and I think like that's very pertinent to the Islamic lifestyle or just the religion itself, because we don't force the religion on anybody. And it's not like I was obviously forcing it, but I find it was kind of different, facing it in real time, which is like my first time ever dealing with a person slightly in person talking about the religion in a bad way. I see things online, I read comment sections, but actually being in front of somebody or being on the camera, even dealing with somebody that has a disdain for the religion or has like a issue with the religion and like coming at you from more of a non-listening, ignorant standpoint, I think like you have to have a way deeper level of patience. Kind of like how Sheikh Uthman does in some of his videos, not all of them, but obviously some of them. Like you have to have a deep level of patience because some people are just not trying to listen. They don't want to understand. But that's the whole thing. You got to realize in every single moment, they're not trying to understand. They don't want to listen. And the more you kind of try to convince them, no, they're listening. They're just not catching what I'm saying. That's when you fall into their rabbit hole. That's when you fall into their trap. Because you essentially know that no, like honestly, they're not listening, but I can make them listen. You can bring a horse to the water, but you can't make it drink. And you got to remember that at all times. And I feel like that's very pertinent. I was really like kind of like irritated because it's just like sometimes when I see, and it's not just because of this religion at all that I've seen this, but I've seen this I've seen this in Christianity. I've seen this in other ways of life as well. I've seen it in times where people just don't want to listen. They just kind of just talk out their butt and they're just kind of like just saying all these things that make no sense. Now I'm on a platform that really does promote this religion. And honestly, I feel like I'm diving a little too much into it at this moment because I want to focus on other parts of my life as well, not just the religion itself. Of course, I want the religion to kind of coincide with everything that I'm trying to do. But I feel like sometimes I dive into this too much. However, I think like that's the whole purpose of me creating, once again, the purpose of me creating this platform is to me to talk about talk about my personal experience, my personal life, and what I'm going through on a day to day. So if I'm ranted a little bit, I apologize. I just wanted to kind of give you my experience in that moment and just kind of see, kind of give it to, or just say it to you guys, so that way you can think about it and reflect on it and implement it in your life, maybe, because I know for a fact it's not easy, but nothing in life is easy, and we got to learn to be patient. So I went on a rant there. Sorry, I went on the rant. Let me get back to the comments. Diversity. Okay, we read that. A mosque is the only place you'll find multiple ethnicities on a random visit. 100%. And and it was actually, I saw black people there too. I saw African people. I saw, you could tell, like, I couldn't, forgive my ignorance, but I still don't really, sometimes I struggle with, well, I know obviously the difference between Urdu or people from Pakistan versus India. I can still tell the difference, but there was some people I could tell that were obviously Arabic, or Middle Eastern, maybe Egyptian even. And I could tell the difference between them, but as far as like some people, I couldn't tell. But you can see, obviously, from just looking at other people, there's different ethnicities, and it's a beautiful thing. And I felt very comfortable. I didn't feel like I was out of place. We were all sitting on the floor. There was no women down there, so I didn't. And and it was kind of interesting when I noticed that, because, like, at first I thought it was. I honestly, it made sense to me when they say women should sit in a different. They have their own designated area. At first, I thought to myself when I came into this, that's a little messed up. You have them have their own designated area, and the men have to sit in their own area. But over time, I started being honest with myself, and I would say, no. But at the end of the day, you remember that time in church when there was like Miss Parker from down the street, and she was a really beautiful woman, and even though she dressed technically appropriately in some way, shape, or form, she still wore a super tight skin dress. You can see all the curves, and I'm here to worship God, and she's coming up in here looking like that. It's not to say that she was purposely in doing that, but it's just like you can still see how distracting things can be. And I wasn't distracted. I wasn't distracted by any women. I wasn't distracted by nothing. I was solely listening to the imam, or the sheikh, that was giving the sermon or giving the lecture, and I was listening intently to what he was saying, and there was no distractions in my mind. The only distraction, if there was any, is like just appreciating all the diversity that I saw in front of me, and like how we're all coming together and praying together, and it just felt unifying, and I really appreciated it. So all love and respect to you, bro. All Muslims are around the world. Thank you, man. Appreciate you. ABW or Wars. I'm just gonna say Wars. Thank you. All united, submitting to one created. Exactly. Just care for the advice. No problem, man. Thank you. Sheikh Uthman's patience is commendable. Very commendable. It's like Allah says, you can't guide whom you love, but Allah guides whom He wills. 100%. And I'm trying to remember. I got to remember that. I would say I'll tattoo it on me, but it's like I can't, obviously. But I would never tattoo something like that on me. But I'm just saying, like, that's something I wish I could just imprint in my brain at all times, because, like, yes, you got to remember, like, Allah guides who He wills. And that's very, very true. ASC, what's up, Meltso? Thank you for stopping by. Assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. You're good, brother. This is very beneficial. Thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm just like, I know I'm going on a little bit of a rant. I didn't really want to make this too long, because I know people are, once again, I know it's a little bit late other places, but I really wanted to touch on it because I thought it was pertinent. And it goes to prove also how, like, it also goes to prove how sophisticated it can be talking to someone about a religion like this, because people look at it from such a negative standpoint because they're so. But I think, like, that's, once again, I'm understanding for sure though that some people know it's not because they necessarily look at it as negative. I mean, she was raised, this girl particularly, she was raised Muslim, and she decided she still is Muslim, but she doesn't practice or anything. She's gay. I'm not, which is nothing wrong with it. I don't have no judgments to people that are gay. Like, hopefully, inshallah, they find their way, they find their true happiness, their true peace, and may God bless them and forgive them, if there is such a sin. But also, it kind of goes to prove, like, people are just not aware of what Islam truly is, and people don't care to know what it is, because, like, sometimes, like, for example, the girl that was hosting the stream, she didn't even take the time to really listen to what I was saying. She was just stuck on the fact that men in general are only allowed to have 4 wives and women can't. Like, she wasn't trying to, like, understand the background behind it. She wasn't trying to understand anything in context of it. She was just trying to take it as her own and just to say, no, in general, men only can date have four wives, and women can't have four husbands. It's like she was just mad at the concept alone. She wasn't even trying to understand why that is, or for what, at least what I understood and was told why that is, and which makes a lot of clear sense, because it's like, well, if you have four husbands, you gotta consider that if all your husbands want to have children with you, how long is it going to take for you to have children with that husband? All four of them. That's going to take you over 2 years per person in order to have a child with one particular husband. Does that make any sense? No. Now, some people could say the same thing about a guy, but it's like, well, that's the whole thing. Well, a guy can continue giving offspring, but that's the reason why he has the eligibility to go to have intercourse with four different women. So, it's things like that just make you think. Walaikum assalam, Earthy. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate you. But yeah, like, I just thought that was a really good moment to kind of, extend that and say, like, sometimes we got, I will say there was a little bit of a battle emotionally for me already, because even though I'm not even fully into the faith yet, I've already felt the need to protect the faith, and I felt the need to not prove someone wrong, but just try to help them understand and get them to understand, like, maybe you're being closed-minded here. Maybe you're the one that needs to kind of do some reflecting. Because if there wasn't Islam and everything was the way it was right now, I don't understand how we would come to solutions as far as a country, and especially in the West, because there's so many things about, like, polygamy, and there's so many things about what a man should do and what a woman should do. And people talk about equality, but it's like, yeah, but you want equality, but you also want the equality of outcome. And that's not how life works. People see the end goal, but they don't see the action. They don't see the result of what they've done before. People just want to have everything equal in every single way, which is not going to happen. That's not how life works. And I feel like that speaks a lot of levels to the West, because it's like you're looking at a lifestyle that's never going to work. Men and women are not going to be equal in every single way of the term. People try to talk about, oh yeah, just women having access to everything a man can do. And I want to be honest with you here. I want to be real with you. I don't think that should be the case either. Because everything a man can do, a woman can't do. Everything a man could do, a woman can do. And it's just like, there's a difference there. There's always going to be a big difference. And you talk about how, like, even if you look at wars and, like, who fought in wars, like, some people say that Aisha shouldn't have been able to fight in the war. Supposedly she fought in the war. I can't remember which war it was, but people were disdained by that because that's not something they believe women should do. Which, in my personal opinion, I don't really have a say on, like, if a woman wants to go to war. I would prefer that she wouldn't, because it's just biologically proven that women have a different body than men do, and men are able to sustain a lot more physical things than a woman can. So I wouldn't want a woman to go into the army just because she's going into the army to prove a point that, yeah, we can all do it. It's like, do you understand, if a war were to break out at any given time, it's not to go into the army and prove a point that you're strong and you're independent, but when a war breaks out, you will be expected to help, guard, and protect anybody that's on this battlefield. And if you're not able to even carry a man a few feet, how do you expect to protect someone? And, things like that, just, you got to think about it. And it's not the disrespect, but it's like, that's the things that I feel like in the West, we're starting to see a lot more of implemented in relationships, to working, to lifestyle, and to just any little mediocre thing you could think about to the right side. Like, it's like anything. It's like, it becomes a little irritating, and it becomes very, at some point you just get really frustrated and you become very worn out, because it just seems like now we're at a place where everybody's bringing up these issues, but they don't want to come up with any solutions. And I get tired of that. Like, I get tired of going into these live chats, going into these meetings, and then we go into these meetings, we go into these lives, and no one talks about a solution. Everybody just talks about the problem and never a solution. What is a solution then? Tell me what a solution is. So we're supposed to just accept women should be able to do everything, or men should be able to do nothing, or vice versa? Like, what is the solution here? And I feel like that was where I was kind of sick of, like, dealing with people in the world. And when Islam was introduced to me, that is when I found out this could be a possible solution. And it's not to show that women don't have the same capabilities of some things that a man can do, but in some things I just don't think it's possible or should be done. Because there's a natural order to things. And I feel like when we disturb the natural order, we're disturbing God. We're disturbing the way God created things. And I feel like that's the problem with people also. They don't believe in God anymore. People are moving away from God, and they're just taking God out of the picture. Like God is not like this, is not even conceivable from the human perception. It's not real. And I'm like, that's, to me, I feel like that's like the thing that I personally feel like at least Christians, Jews, and Muslims can agree with. Like people that are not practicing the faith seem to like just lead the world astray. And that's why I entered Islam. And I just want to, and once again, I'm going on a rant. I want to get back. I need to get to the Surah because I got things I got to do. But that's just my personal opinion. Exactly. People have so many preconceived notions about Islam from things they don't understand. They don't even care about correcting their knowledge, and ignorance is bliss for them. 100%. This isn't disrespect. These are facts. 100%. Feminists would be angry at you. I already know they would be. They are mad at me. Trust me. I have a lot of female friends that are friends with feminists or probably are strong feminists themselves. And it's not like I don't agree with someone what they say, but at the same time, yeah, we get into a lot of arguments. Mashallah, love from India. Love from India. Thank you so much, Muhammad. Appreciate you. Love from USA. Thank you for stopping by. Islam is the solution, 100%. Ibrahim, assalamu alaikum. Walaikum assalam. Thank you for stopping by. Did you see the Muslim skeptic latest video? It's just 1 minute long, but really beneficial and connected to what you're talking about. That's what it's called, the Muslim skeptics? Which video is that? Please comment it, because that's the thing. The thing with me is just like I love looking into debates, because I don't know, man. I just feel like if I were really to be serious, I could be a lawyer. Like if I really wanted to be serious, I could be a good lawyer because I'm good at arguing people's points with actual facts. And some people sometimes like don't even have like an answer. People just know that this is how they feel, and sometimes how you feel doesn't necessitate how the world works. I'm sorry, but at the end of the day, reality is reality. You got to accept reality. There is no not accepting it. And that's the thing that irritates me even more, because what I was angry about the other day, and I posted about it in my community page, talking about how Jordan Peterson posted this clip talking about how rejection from men is the worst form of rejection, because in a sense, a man at some point has to accept the reality that if he's going to be a man, then he has to just do what he has to do in order to be a man. You have to work. You have to be courageous. And then, obviously there's other things that attribute to what a man is supposed to be, not just working and money, but also being like what the prophet said, like, being religious, being pious, being loving, being graceful, being merciful, kind, all these things. Like these all things define a man, because it could go forever for how you define what a man is. But at the end of the day, you got to accept the fact that you're a man, and there's certain obligations that you got to meet. Otherwise, you're not going to be ever appealing to the opposite sex, unless you want a woman that's just willing to walk all over you, or a woman that doesn't necessarily care about your personal existence. They try to make it seem like, like a man should be able to do all these things, almost like, be like how the LGBT almost kind of like aims at. Like you can be anything you want. A man and a woman should be in a relationship. They should be they. They shouldn't be two distinguishable people. You have people that get in relationships nowadays, and the LGBT community calls them they instead of them. They call them they, as if like they're combined to one, which is, it's kind of ludicrous to me. It's kind of bizarre. But nonetheless, it's like you got to accept these things as a man. And I feel like when you accept reality as a man, that means you're accepting for what reality is. And it's kind of messed up that people could kind of cherry pick and say, oh no, and especially with women sometimes, not to point out all women, but some women, they can cherry pick and say, well, men have to accept rejection with ease. They got to accept these things with ease, and they got to accept this, and they got to accept that. But when it comes to them accepting something, they're like, that's oppression. That's the patriarchy. It's like, so we got to accept everything, but you don't have to accept nothing. You can just do whatever you like. You can be and do whatever you like. It's kind of hypocritical, and it's kind of like, and it angers me, because that's like literally like the biggest point of all points when feminists speak. It's like, you got to accept to be a man, but not be a man. You gotta, and I'm not saying that men should learn some level of emotional intelligence, but it's like what is that supposed to be? What kind of like, what do you want me to be? You want me to be a robot? Is that what you want? You want to be able to push a button and I act the way that you want me to act? Other times when I'm dominating, you hate, other times when I'm dominating in specific times, you enjoy it, you love it. But other times when I'm dominating, you hate it. You feel like I lack empathy. But it's like, but you married me or you got with me or you like me because I am dominating. And it's not to be saying like domination is simply like a man controls a woman. It's like, no, domination also means mentally. Sometimes you have to think. You can't just act. You have to think. And sometimes a man has to be the one that steps in and thinks logically. That's the reason why men think logically and women think with emotions. Sometimes domination means thinking with the mind and dominating with your mind and not just what you do. That's the difference. And you want me to be dominated but not dominating? It makes no just it makes no sense. I'm going on the brand. I need to get off this rant. All right, cool. Thank you for dropping the link. Yaha, assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam, Aki. Hope you're well. I'm doing all right. Thank you so much for asking. Love from India. Pana, thank you for stopping by the stream. Gaming on YouTube. Pana, hopefully your YouTube gaming thing works out for you, man. Thank you for stopping by. Assalamu alaikum to you. Jasak Lakir. Okay, so I ranted too much. Abu Huraira reported the messenger of Allah, blessings and peace be upon him, said, "The strong are not the best wrestlers. Verily, the strong are only those who control themselves when they are angry." 100. Oh my gosh. Oh. But you know that, you know exactly what that is. You know what that's called? It's called stoicism. That's exactly what that's called. You gotta learn to control yourself even when you're angry. It doesn't matter what emotion it is, but especially in this particular saying, obviously, it's talking about anger. And I know, like, sometimes even in anger, you have to learn to calm yourself. You got to learn to master your emotions. And I think that's the beautiful thing about stoicism. Like, some people are trying to make it seem like stoicism is a toxic trait. Nowadays, believe it or not, people are making, women especially, are trying to make it seem like men holding in their emotions. Well, I wouldn't say hold it in their emotions, because stoicism is not about holding in your emotions. It's learning how to direct your emotions in a positive manner, while it's not reacting emotionally to the emotion in that moment. That's what stoicism is. It's not holding it in. And people try to turn the script of, and it feels like an agenda almost. It's like people try to flip the script and say stoicism is like a toxic thing, and they hold in their emotions. Once again, misinterpretation of what the word means. And people will utilize it in a way to utilize it as a form of weaponry toward the man. Once again, whew, I could go for days, man. Everyone calls me Yaha. Yaha. When it's Yahya. When it's Yahya. When it's Yahya, who was the prophet? It's Yahya, who was a prophet before Jesus, who was sent by Allah, who died while was praying Allahu Akbar. Oh, okay, amazing. I didn't know that. I just didn't know how to, trust me, I don't know how to pronounce anything. I know how to pronounce English names, like English, but if it comes to like any foreign name, I'm terrible, I'm trash. The beauty of Islam is that you have an evil, negative, bad thought and don't act on it. You achieve a good deed in your book of deeds, which will receive on Judgment Day. Yeah, I was reading about that. I think that was a little bit in the Musa Speaks to Allah video, where I don't know how to think about it now, but I mean, obviously when I first heard it, I just thought it was powerful. But some Muslims are saying that the hadith that came from that, or that hadith came from a weak source. So I didn't know that. I don't know if it's true or not, but nonetheless, I still think like that brings the same message. It talks about how you, like, even if you go through something and then you don't respond to it and react to it a certain way, it's considered a good deed, because you're not allowing like something, you're not allowing a negative emotion affect a positive thing, or a thing that could be taken a positive way, which is considered a good deed. So that's very interesting and very intriguing. Okay, but I've ranted enough. I want to go on ahead and we're going to talk about Surah 6, Anam, the cattle. So I don't know what this is about. I've not looked into this. Once again, I haven't read anything past chapter 3. Or actually part of chapter 3. I hadn't read anything past it, and then we read chapter 3. Now we're through it. I mean chapter 3, and now we're through it, and now we're on chapter 6. So it's like 3 chapters later, and here we are. So this is the cattle, and I just wanted to read something in the beginning because it didn't have this in the other chapters, but this is what it says in the book. Like the previous chapter, this second chapter masterfully demonstrates God's power and knowledge, and thoroughly refutes pagan beliefs and unfounded practices, including animal offerings to the idols. Permissible and prohibited foods are explained in more detail than in the previous chapter. The nature of the prophethood is defined, making it clear that messengers cannot do anything without the will of God. This chapter begins by highlighting God's authority, just like the ending of the previous chapter, and concludes by emphasizing accountability for one's deeds, just like the beginning of the next chapter. That's going to be... So the beginning of the next chapter is talking about accountability for one's good deeds. I'm very intrigued to read that. What is the next chapter called? The Heights? Al-Raf. Okay, so that's the next chapter. I'm very intrigued to understand that. Because I really want to know about good deeds, because like there's a very gray area about good deeds, but at the same time, I feel like that's, it was a friend of mine, not a friend of mine, but a person. One second, let me bring this down. I'm going to try to see if I can find it really quick. There was something that I read in a class, from one of my classes, and there was something that somebody took a screenshot of that's in the Bible, actually. And I was very shocked to read this, because I was like, what? Like, this is in the Bible? I never knew it. 1 second here. Actually, I think it's on my phone. Let me look at the thing. Bismillah. Araf is the way to pronounce it. Oh, really? Okay, gotcha. Yeah, I figured. 1 second. 1 second, y'all. Let me look it up. I'm gonna try to find the document because I saved it to my phone. No, this is not it. Why is this in here? Or maybe it's in my cloud? I could have sworn I downloaded it. I'm going to be so upset if this didn't download after all that I did. Because I did download it. There it is. I did download it. Okay, perfect. So there's a chapter in the Bible, and this was like something that somebody read in my class, and it was like, here's a direct quote which should really put things into perspective. And this is from James 2:14-17 in the Bible. And I never read this before. I never looked into this. What good is it, my brothers? This is supposedly after Jesus died, or Isa died. What good is it, my brothers and sisters, if someone claims to have faith but has no deeds? Can such faith save them? Suppose a brother or sister is without clothes or daily food. If one of you says to them, go in peace and keep warm and well fed, but does nothing about their physical needs, what good is it? In the same way, faith by itself is not accompanied by action is dead. So that is real. Like, that is a real thing. Some people literally claim to be holy and they try to be good. Okay, so here we go with bullying. So I'm gonna promote you for bullying, misinformation, report. Faith without works is dead, but our works alone does nothing. Exactly. Faith without, you see what you just said? Faith without works is dead. And that's the thing. Like, and you see, but that's the thing, Board Cody. Even though you're coming up in here saying Muhammad is a false prophet, that's what literally Islam is. It talks about how, like, your deeds are more than your faith. And some people literally slowly believe that as long as you believe in Jesus, you're saved. So you're saved and you don't do any good deeds, you're still saved. I don't know about that, my friend. I don't know. It is self. Is it John 17? It's John. Hold on, no, it's John. Dang, I just missed it. I just scored past it. Second. James 2:14-17. It is said by James, the brother of Jesus, if I'm right, he rebuked Paul a couple of times. He did rebuke Paul, because Paul was the one that came up with the idea of you're just saved. And if you believe in Jesus, and that's not true. I personally don't believe it's true, because like there's people that do bad things You're telling me that they're saved because even though they do bad things because they believe in Jesus, they're saved. I don't believe in that. I don't. Like, even my great grandmother, rest her soul, as a Christian woman, she didn't believe that. She was very active in the church. She also was very, she really did talk about faith in a way where it wasn't, you don't just do good deeds and you get by and you're fine. It's not how it works. So I personally don't believe that. I can't look in somebody's face and do wrong by them and say, oh yeah, I'm cool with doing wrong by you because I'm believing Jesus and I'm saved, so I can do whatever I want. I totally don't believe that. Don't know you reported it. I'm speaking facts. Saints bishops didn't take him serious. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm not gonna deal with this. But anyway, let's get to the surah. I'll comment in the section below. Don't you don't know you reported it. I'm speaking facts. Saints bishops didn't take him serious. No Christian believes that. I don't know what you're talking about. I don't know what you're talking about. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to the stream. Give me 1 second, guys. Okay, 1 second. We're gonna get right to the stream. 1 second. All right, but anyway, guys, we're gonna get back to it. Here we go. 1 second. So this is Anam the cattle. Here we go.
الحمد لله الذي خلق السماوات والأرض وجعل الظلمات والنور ثم الذين كفروا بربهم يعدلون هو الذي خلقكم من طين ثم قضى أجلا وأجل مسمى عنده ثم أنتم تمترون وهو الله في السماوات وفي الأرض يعلم سركم وجهركم ويعلم ما تكسبون وما تأتيهم من آية من آيات ربهم إلا كانوا عنها معرضين فقد كذبوا بالحق لما جاءهم فسوف يأتيهم أنباء ما كانوا به يستهزئون ألم يروا كم أهلكنا من قبلهم من قرن مكناهم في الأرض ما لم نمكن لكم وأرسلنا السماء عليهم مدرارا وجعلنا الأنهار تجري من تحتهم فأهلكناهم بذنوبهم وأنشأنا من بعدهم قرنا آخرين ولو نزلنا عليك كتابا في قرطاس فلمسوه بأيديهم لقال الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا سحر مبين. وقالوا لولا أنزل عليه ملك ولو أنزلنا ملكا لقضي الأمر ثم لا ينظرون. ولو جعلناه ملكا لجعلناه رجلا وللبسنا عليهم ما يلبسون. ولقد استهزئ برسل من قبلك فحاق بالذين سخروا منهم ما كانوا به يستهزئون. قل سيروا في الأرض ثم انظروا كيف كان عاقبة المكذبين. قل لمن ما في السماوات والأرض قل لله كتب على نفسه الرحمة ليجمعنكم إلى يوم القيامة لا ريب فيه الذين خسروا أنفسهم فهم لا يؤمنون. وله ما سكن في الليل والنهار وهو السميع العليم. قل أغير الله أتخذ وليا فاطر السماوات والأرض وهو يطعم ولا يطعم. قل إني أمرت أن أكون أول من أسلم ولا تكونن من المشركين. قل إني أخاف إن عصيت ربي عذاب يوم عظيم. من يصرف عنه يومئذ فقد رحمه وذلك الفوز المبين. وإن يمسسك الله بضر فلا كاشف له إلا هو وإن يمسسك بخير فهو على كل شيء قدير. وهو القاهر فوق عباده وهو الحكيم الخبير. قل أي شيء أكبر شهادة قل الله شهيد بيني وبينكم وأوحي إلي هذا القرآن لأنذركم به ومن بلغ أئنكم لتشهدون أن مع الله آلهة أخرى قل لا أشهد قل إنما هو إله واحد وإنني بريء مما تشركون. الذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعرفونه كما يعرفون أبناءهم الذين خسروا أنفسهم فهم لا يؤمنون. ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو كذب بآياته إنه لا يفلح الظالمون. ويوم نحشرهم جميعا ثم نقول للذين أشركوا أين شركاؤكم الذين كنتم تزعمون ثم لم تكن فتنتهم إلا أن قالوا والله ربنا ما كنا مشركين انظر كيف كذبوا على أنفسهم وضل عنهم ما كانوا يفترون ومنهم من يستمع إليك وجعلنا على قلوبهم أكنة أن يفقهوه وفي آذانهم وقرا وإن يروا كل آية لا يؤمنوا بها حتى إذا جاءوك يجادلونك يقول الذين كفروا إن هذا إلا أساطير الأولين وهم ينهون عنه وينأون عنه وإن يهلكون إلا أنفسهم وما يشعرون ولو ترى إذ وقفوا على النار فقالوا يا ليتنا نرد ولا نكذب بآيات ربنا ونكون من المؤمنين بل بدا لهم ما كانوا يخفون من قبل ولو ردوا لعادوا لما نهوا عنه وإنهم لكاذبون وقالوا إن هي إلا حياتنا الدنيا وما نحن بمبعوثين ولو ترى إذ وقفوا على ربهم قال أليس هذا بالحق قالوا بلى وربنا قال فذوقوا العذاب بما كنتم تكفرون قد خسر الذين كذبوا بلقاء الله حتى إذا جاءتهم الساعة بغتة قالوا يا حسرتنا على ما فرطنا فيها وهم يحملون أوزارهم على ظهورهم ألا ساء ما يزرون وما الحياة الدنيا إلا لعب ولهو وللدار الآخرة.
So I'm just gonna say this once. I'm not gonna really speak on it anymore. So right now I'm currently just reading this, right? And I'm trying to make sure I focus on it. I'm not trying to like deviate from it too much. And I'm looking at your comments and I look. I don't have anything against Christians. I don't have nothing against any other person that practices any faith. I don't even care if you're a freaking Satanist. I do not care what you practice and what you believe in. But at the end of the day, I feel like there should be a peace between Muslims, Christians, and Jews. Because at the end of the day, I really do in my heart of heart believes that there is only one God. I don't think it could get any more simple than that. Like, I don't understand, like, why there's such an argument about, like, what's right and what's wrong. We all believe that there's only one God. And how many other one gods can there be except one? At the end of the day, it doesn't matter who's right or who's wrong. If you believe that you're a Christian and you're going to be saved through Christ, then continue to live in the way of Christ and do what's right for you. For me, I live by Christ, and I constantly live by Christ. I still live by Christ by following Islam. There's no difference. The only difference is I don't believe in the Trinity part. I don't believe in that. I don't believe God was in a human form. I don't believe that he was here in a human, as a human. I don't. It's hard to believe, because if that were the case, there's so many things that you can say in that regard. Like you can make a comparison to people and say, hey, like, so technically you're saying that God is limited, like he's limited because he became a man, and then though he died and things of that nature, he's still able to die. So God can die. So God isn't all powerful. You're defeating the purpose of the whole conversation, as far as like saying that he became a man. I'm sorry to say it, but it's the truth. Because at the end of the day, that's what a lot of, if you want to talk about, you're a Christian comes onto Islamic channels, but there's a lot of atheists probably coming at you hard talking about Christianity, because there's so many contradictions in the Bible. There's so many ways that you can literally twist that narrative and say like, well, so God is not all powerful. So God is technically not even, we're following a God that honestly can't even protect himself from the vices of men. That's what you're literally saying. And even though I don't personally believe that's what the true Christianity is, that's what a lot of the Christians, that's the majority of the rule of what Christians believe in. There's only a few sects of Christianity that don't believe in that. And personally, I don't. And even when you look at those particular sects, at the same time, they still believe in a sense that he's a savior. And I believed in a sense that all the prophets were saviors and of the people of that time. They all were. And they weren't all from Jerusalem. They were from different places like Egypt. There were other places like farther from Egypt. There was other places where people came to visit these people that weren't in Israel. So it doesn't matter what place you come from. And it doesn't matter if you speak the language. Do you think Isa was able to speak other languages? Is there a quote about Isa speaking different languages? Was he able to speak Greek? Was he able to speak Koine Greek? Was he able to speak other languages? How do you know? You weren't there. There's no scripture saying that he was able to speak other languages. There's no book. There's no nothing. There's even scholars that are agnostic that even claim that Jesus wasn't even real. So where is the argument here? Like, I don't understand why it's such an argument. And the thing is, I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but at the same time, you believe what you believe. We believe what we believe. I personally just don't. I cannot defend an argument saying that's the truth when I don't think it's the truth. I never believed it to be the truth. I believe that we just walk in the light, we walk and be loving to God, and we try to be good people, and that's the way you do it. But you have to have good deeds. You can say what you want about Christians doing good deeds, and that's not what all Christians believe. But trust me, buddy, I was Christian majority of my life. I was Baptist. I had family that was Protestant. Trust me, I've seen it all. I've actually had experiences that I haven't told people that I've experienced. From the worst experience that I've had was from Christians. Not from atheists, not from agnostics, from Christians. I've had some of the worst experiences with Christians. And to be honest with you, I've literally tried for 28 years of my life. I don't know how old you are, buddy, but the Jesus spirit spread Arabic. Spread Arabic? No. You just say you never was a Christian. I was a Christian. See, this is where I'm sorry, bro. I can't take it anymore. For one thing, I was a Christian. And I don't believe in the Christian terminology of like, oh yeah, like you have to follow the book word by word. But when you don't even know the whole Bible in and out, no Christian, you want to literally tell me that there's so many Christians out here that literally can name literally by heart from book cover to cover. You could tell me I could pull out a random scripture and a Christian would know exactly what I'm talking about. I don't know. I highly don't believe that. I've come to this religion and I've already come across people that literally know this stuff in the book forward, backwards, even hadith forward and backwards, and know how to defend their arguments. In some cases, not so much, but it's the truth. And it's just the truth, man. And I tried to listen to you. I was trying to be fair. I wasn't trying to be a jerk about it. But when you start saying, like, you start making claims and you start talking about other people, that's when I just say I'm done. Because you can talk, you can attack the conversation all you want, which is fine. You can always have a conversation about the subject matter. There's no such thing as I was Christian. Either you are or never was. That's not true whatsoever. Because you can sit here and say I was. I'm just a liar. All right. I tried, man. I really have been trying. And remove. Yeah, it just like it makes no sense. It's like, oh, you never were. Like you never were. You either are, or you never were. Are you serious? So I can sit here and do good deeds my entire time, my entire life. I can go my entire life and do good deeds. My entire life go do but do good deeds, not hurt a soul. Literally try to be loving and kind to everyone, to every single person. Get treated like crap. Still continue to do good. Get treated like crap. Continue to do good. Get treated like crap. And then I'm not a Christian. Okay. So I turn the other cheek for how long? I'm supposed to turn the other cheek for the rest of my life. Get treated like a piece of crap by other people the entire time. See, synergy, like why? Like, why do people do this? Like, like, do people have no lives? Like, dude, like, how many accounts do you have? Like 7,000? Everyone is evil. No one is good besides God. So everyone's evil. Now everyone's evil, and that goes to prove that you're wrong. Because if we were all evil, we were supposed to. If we're how are we evil when we've been saved? If you believe in Christ, you're saved, right? So how are we evil? We're born sinners, but after believing in Christ, we're saved. So how the heck are we evil? That's your logic, brother. You don't even try to argue me on that because that's everywhere in the Bible. Believe in Christ as your Lord and Savior, and you are saved from the evils of this world. That is literally what it says. You're going to literally tell me that we're all evil still? Our righteous works are filthy rags. Okay, now you're just trolling. I'm getting you out of here. All right, so I'm going to make you a moderator. You can just ban them from if you want to. I don't know how much time it allows you to ban people, but he saved us from the punishment we deserve. But to your you can sit there and say your punishment all you want, but in a sense, the punishment was doing evil deeds, was doing evil acts. And we believe in Christ, and we're supposed to be saved from those evil acts. We're supposed to be wiped clean all of our sins that we committed before, and going further. So technically, we're supposed to be saved from evil. And if we're evil, how have we saved? You're literally defeating your own purpose. And once again, I don't believe that you're being serious. I think you're just trolling at this point. And I don't know why. I don't understand it. Like I don't understand like why people gotta troll, man. Like you can troll somewhere else. Troll someone that's honestly the mind is like that's literally like you got so many people trying to defend the Quran over and over again, and honestly, some of them are hypocritical. Go bully those people or talk to them. I'm not saying I'm not condoning it, but I'm just saying, dude, bother them, bro. I try to be open minded to what you were saying, but now you just want to be offensive. You want to, and then you want to argue about it. I'm not here to argue. I'm not. I'm not going to sit here and argue with you, bro. I'm just not. Yeah, you just keep timing him out. If he brings up another account, just time him out again. Just keep on doing it until he gives up. I don't care. I'm just over it. But that's the truth, man. Like I really have tried to live the way as a Christian. Like truly have. But I feel like at some point, it's not to say that we don't. We just haphazardly just continue to, at some point just decide to go ahead and beat people up because they've been mistreating us. But I feel at some point like you're human. I feel like you're human at some point. See, it just keeps coming. You can keep on timing them out. Yeah, just keep on doing that. That's perfectly fine. But at some point, you're just human. You know what I'm saying? Like, uh, there's nothing pertinent to what, what was I saying? Hold on, let me think. Yeah, like you're just human. Like even Martin Luther King was a Christian man, and he's been to jail because he got into a fight once too. This proves that we're human and we're not perfect. And I know that for a fact. That's like kind of like not really giving a good example, but at some point people are going to slip up. People are going to make mistakes, and you can't allow every single moment to be a moment that you allow yourself to be walked on. I don't see how that saves you. Like I see how it saves you as far as your deeds because you're doing good. I feel like the more you're trying to prevent the bad things from happening, then inshallah, then that's what saves you. I feel like that's what truly does save you. The more you do good, obviously the better, the more you're going to be saved. But if you make a mistake, all you have to do is repent for your mistake and you're fine. I find that way more simple than it does. Hello, Maurice. Thank you for stopping by. I'm doing well. We were having a troll in here, and it has like multiple accounts. Um, but at the same time, I don't know, man. Yeah, see another one. Like it never stops. Just never stops. And it's depressing because I just feel like it's just ignorance. Like how sad of a person you have to be. Does Jesus love the fact that you're here, literally doing this to other people? Do you believe in Jesus? Because I'm pretty sure Jesus wouldn't like you doing this. I'm pretty sure Jesus wouldn't want you going into a person's stream bashing his religion or his faith or beliefs. I'm pretty sure he wouldn't do that. He didn't bash the Jews when he was trying to preach the word of God to them. He didn't bash them. He let them throw rocks at him all day. So if somebody bashes you, you're gonna bash them back. I thought that was not something Christ liked. I thought Christ would turn the other cheek. Yeah, hopefully you have a blessed Ramadan, 100% Ramadan Mubarak. But that's the thing, man. See, once again, hypocrisy. It's just a hypocritical statement, and I try to still, and it's things like this is a perfect example of what I try to stand up for, because like you try to stand up for people like this, and even though you understand, and I still even right now, as much of a troll that he is, I still understand that he's in a part of his life where he's confused or maybe he's angry at something. Maybe he went through something that literally got him to a point where he just feels he has to do this. Or maybe he's just doing this for fun. I don't know. But I pray in my heart, and I don't care like what you believe or whatever. I just pray in my heart that you find peace, and I hope that you make it to heaven. I hope that God forgives you for your bad actions. I really do. I really do believe it, man. I don't have any hate in my heart toward people. I know I'm ignoring him, but it's just something that it's oh man, it's just sad because it's just very very sad because it's like I feel it's unnecessary. There's so many people that are against God already, you know, that are against the thought of God. Period. It doesn't matter if you're Jew, Christian, or Muslim. They already don't like the fact of God. There's many people out there that don't believe in it. They don't believe in God at all. No, there's a lot of people out there that don't believe, and we already have enough enemies, you know. So why are we going to make enemies of each other of the same kind of technical faith? Though our translations of the faith may be different. I don't care if that's the thing, you know. And I want to be honest. This is something I want to talk about in another video soon, but I'm going to say some of it here. I pray that to God every single day and every single moment that I could possibly think of, that I hope that I'm following the right path. I pray that I'm following the path that He set for me. Because I feel like if there wasn't something that I didn't feel, like I have to feel and I have to think it's true. Like I can't just think and not feel it. Like I have to take both into consideration. But I pray that Muhammad was a true messenger. I pray that he was. Because you know why? Because like I don't want to follow someone that's false either. But sometimes you got to remember at the end of the day, we're following faith here. It's called faith for a reason. Like it's really called faith for a reason. I don't understand why people have to try to push the argument that one is right and the other's not. It's called faith for a reason. We're already against odds, thinking that maybe, I'm not saying like obviously we're against odds, but I'll say against odds because we don't know. You know, maybe we have a sense, maybe we have a feeling that God is real, like we have a fitra, which I do believe in. But I feel like, you know, it's still at odds. Like you never know. Like you just don't know. Like, it's not like we're divine beings and we can read and know everything. It's impossible to know everything. I believe that God is real because I feel like there's something more than just what we see and what we feel and what we touch. But that's just what I feel. And I pray that he was a messenger. I pray Jesus was real. I pray for Abraham was real. I pray that everyone was real. I believe that they were real because these scriptures and these texts, they have way too much proof in them and they have too much power to prove that they're real. It doesn't matter if I'm coming from the Jewish perspective, Christian, or Muslim perspective. I believe in all of these texts. Yeah, 100%, Ali. I believe in that. I truly do. And I really do. And that's the thing I'm trying to talk about. Like David Wood, like that's a good example of what a Christian, he talks about Christian this and Christian that. Does his actions reflect a good Christian? Now, I'm not going to sit here and say Sheikh Uthman is a good Muslim per se, because there's some things I don't agree with him on. But you know, the thing is, I do the Christian thing and I try to look past everything that person's been through and all the things that's happened to that person that allow them to continue to act a certain way. We've all been through something, and we take on characteristics that honestly are not healthy for us, and that kind of make us ignorant in some way. I try to stay open minded in every way, shape, or form that I possibly can. But there's even things that I've taken upon myself that I've implemented in my life that I know can display slight ignorance. But I don't judge a person based upon what they've been through and how they implement it in their life. I judge a person based upon what they're really trying to do. Really trying to do. And I don't, and what, that's what, once again, that's in the Bible itself. You judge people by their actions. Like in the Quran, I mean, you judge people by their actions. You don't judge them just to willy-nilly judge. You judge them by their actions in a concise manner that allows you to make an informed decision or hypothesis of who you think that person is. It doesn't mean you just go willy-nilly judging people, but you still have to you still have to make some kind of sound solution in your brain that this is the right path and this is what's right. And sometimes I don't agree with everything that everyone says. I don't agree with what I read sometimes in some of these surahs, or not surahs, but just the not the surahs, but mostly the hadith. Some things I read in the hadith that I don't agree with. There's some things in the Bible I don't agree with. There's some things that I do. But it all depends on what you focus on. If you decide to focus on negative, you're always going to be a negative person. If you decide to focus on positive, you're always going to be a positive person. That is literally psychology 101. You don't have to take religion into that at all. You can literally look at psychology. And if you don't believe in science, I don't know what you believe in. Because science is literally the basic common standing of any agnostic or any atheist, is at least science. At least science. You have to believe in science. Because if you don't believe in science, you're destroying their fabric of reality. And reality is science. So what do you believe in at this point? You have to believe in something positive. You have to have some kind of positive outlook. If you continue to be negative, that's what you are. I'm sorry to say it, that's the truth. And I'm not trying to make this a rant. I didn't want this to be a thing. It's just that it kind of irritates me when people just come on, and I understand it, because like, trust me, I'm going to be honest with you. I used to be that person. I didn't make thousands of accounts, but I would literally have times where I'll have like a negative characteristic where I feel like I had to make things worse. Like if I feel like if I was angry about something, I had to go find something or do something to make someone mad because I wanted them to feel my rage. I wanted them to feel my pain, my anger, all of that. I wanted them to feel it. And it made me happy when I got a reaction out of it. But I found it was a toxic trait. And I decided that I don't want to do that anymore. I don't want to be that person. It's ugly. It's disgusting. It's not beautiful. And if you really believe in God, do you think that you're just forgiving for your ugly actions? Do you really believe that? Do you really believe that you're just forgiven for all the ugly that you've done? And maybe this is a little sensitive, because this is where like the basic fundamentals of principle come into people's lives, of like, oh, what is right and what's wrong, and what you're allowed to do, what you can't do, and what you're able to do. Some people don't believe in God, and they feel like they should be able to treat people however they want. Do you believe that's really true? You should be able to treat people however you want? And if you were one of those people, then I'm sorry. I don't even really condemn people. I don't even condemn people. But if you believe in nothing and you don't believe you should treat people good and you should be able to do whatever you want and have no repercussions for your actions, you are one of the most ignorant, selfish people that I've ever met in my life. And if there is a God and there is a heaven and a hell, which I believe there is, I'm sorry. Like, I really do have sympathy and I feel sad. But, bro, you're going to the hellfire for that, what you're doing. Like I have a whole bunch of different lists I can go on about how what I believe in and what I truly think. I truly do. I got a whole plethora. Before I even, when I left Christianity, when I came back to it, when I started to try to pray at least, when I went to Buddhism and Taoism and started learning how to meditate, learning to accept reality and let things go, like literally let things go, because the more, because it made sense in Buddhism and Taoism at least to let things go, because the more you hold on to something, the more painful it is. But at the same time, I don't believe that you just suffer to suffer and that's it. I don't. People try to make it seem Nirvana and heaven are different. I don't believe they're different. I believe it's a different translation of what the truth actually is. You let go of things, the more you become lighthearted. The more you let go of things, the more you see the beauty in things, and the more you don't try to fight and argue and push against the wave. It's the truth. That is the truth. And that's the thing that I personally believe in on a day-to-day basis. And it's sad when you have someone come in and they literally just want to be ignorant. You want to be ignorant for what? Like, what is the what is the point? What is your mission from this? To make yourself look like an ass? Is that your purpose? I don't understand it anymore. It's just like, what is your purpose of living? Just to make yourself look stupid? To get on a platform where people want to come together and be a community and literally get away from the pressures of day-to-day life, how ugly life is already it already is, and they try to find some reconcile online, which I'm not blaming anybody if they do that. I'm not, because I do it myself. But some people try to find that reconciliation. They find entertainment. They find that reconciliation online from watching other content creators, other streamers, other people of the same faith. That's what they come here for. But you have the need to get onto a platform, even get online, get onto a platform, come onto their page or their platform, and literally just talk crap for no reason. And you're supposedly a Christian, but your job is to literally still bash people. Are you truly a Christian? Does Jesus love your actions? I'm gonna let God decide that. Back to the surah.
خير للذين يتقون أفلا تعقلون قد نعلم إنه ليحزنك الذي يقولون فإنهم لا يكذبونك ولكن الظالمين بآيات الله يجحدون ولقد كذبت رسل من قبلك فصبروا على ما كذبوا وأوذوا حتى أتاهم نصرنا ولا مبدل لكلمات الله ولقد جاءك من نبأ المرسلين وإن كان كبر عليك إعراضهم فإن استطعت أن تبتغي نفقا في الأرض أو سلما في السماء فتأتيهم بآية ولو شاء الله لجمعهم على الهدى فلا تكونن من الجاهلين إنما يستجيب الذين يسمعون والموتى يبعثهم الله ثم إليه يرجعون وقالوا لولا نزل عليه آية من ربه قل إن الله قادر على أن ينزل آية ولكن أكثرهم لا يعلمون وما من دابة في الأرض ولا طائر يطير بجناحيه إلا أمثالكم ما فرطنا في الكتاب من شيء ثم إلى ربهم يحشرون والذين كذبوا بآياتنا صم وبكم في الظلمات من يشاء الله يضلله ومن يشاء يجعله على صراط مستقيم قل أرأيتكم إن أتاكم عذاب الله أو أتتكم الساعة أغير الله تدعون إن كنتم صادقين بل إياه تدعون فيكشف ما تدعون إليه إن شاء وتنسون ما تشركون ولقد أرسلنا إلى من قبلك فأخذناهم بالبأساء والضراء لعلهم يتضرعون فلولا إذ جاءهم بأسنا تضرعوا ولكن قست قلوبهم وزين لهم الشيطان ما كانوا يعملون فلما نسوا ما ذكروا به فتحنا عليهم أبواب كل شيء حتى إذا فرحوا بما أوتوا أخذناهم بغتة فإذا هم مبلسون فقطع دابر القوم الذين ظلموا والحمد لله رب العالمين قل أرأيتم إن أخذ الله سمعكم وأبصاركم وختم على قلوبكم من إله غير الله يأتيكم به انظر كيف نصرف الآيات ثم هم يصدفون قل أرأيتكم إن أتاكم عذاب الله بغتة أو جهرة هل يهلك إلا القوم الظالمون وما نرسل المرسلين إلا مبشرين ومنذرين فمن آمن وأصلح فلا خوف عليهم ولا هم يحزنون والذين كذبوا بآياتنا يمسهم العذاب بما كانوا يفسقون قل لا أقول لكم عندي خزائن الله ولا أعلم الغيب ولا أقول لكم إني ملك إن أتبع إلا ما يوحى إلي قل هل يستوي الأعمى والبصير أفلا تتفكرون وأنذر به الذين يخافون أن يحشروا إلى ربهم ليس لهم من دونه ولي ولا شفيع لعلهم يتقون ولا تطرد الذين يدعون ربهم بالغداة والعشي يريدون وجهه ما عليك من حسابهم من شيء وما من حسابك عليهم من شيء فتطردهم فتكون من الظالمين وكذلك فتنا بعضهم ببعض ليقولوا أهؤلاء من الله عليهم من بيننا أليس الله بأعلم بالشاكرين وإذا جاءك الذين يؤمنون بآياتنا فقل سلام عليكم كتب ربكم على نفسه الرحمة أنه من عمل منكم سوءا بجهالة ثم تاب من بعده وأصلح فأنه غفور رحيم وكذلك نفصل الآيات ولتستبين سبيل المجرمين قل إني نهيت أن أعبد الذين تدعون من دون الله قل لا أتبع أهواءكم قد ضللت إذا وما أنا من المهتدين قل إني على بينة من ربي وكذبتم به ما عندي ما تستعجلون به إن الحكم إلا لله يقص الحق وهو خير الفاصلين قل لو أن عندي ما تستعجلون به لقضي الأمر بيني وبينكم والله أعلم بالظالمين وعنده مفاتح الغيب لا يعلمها إلا هو ويعلم ما في البر والبحر وما تسقط من ورقة إلا يعلمها ولا حبة في ظلمات الأرض ولا رطب ولا يابس إلا في كتاب مبين وهو الذي يتوفاكم بالليل ويعلم ما جرحتم بالنهار ثم يبعثكم فيه ليقضى أجل مسمى ثم إليه مرجعكم ثم ينبئكم بما كنتم تعملون وهو القاهر فوق عباده ويرسل عليكم حفظة حتى إذا جاء أحدكم الموت حتى إذا جاء أحدكم الموت توفته رسلنا وهم لا يفرطون ثم ردوا إلى الله مولاهم الحق ألا له الحكم وهو أسرع الحاسبين قل من ينجيكم من ظلمات البر والبحر تدعونه تضرعا وخفية لئن أنجانا من هذه لنكونن من الشاكرين قل الله ينجيكم منها ومن كل كرب ثم أنتم تشركون قل هو القادر على أن يبعث عليكم عذابا من فوقكم أو من تحت أرجلكم أو يلبسكم شيعا ويذيق بعضكم بأس بعض انظر كيف نصرف الآيات لعلهم يفقهون وكذب به قومك وهو الحق قل لست عليكم بوكيل لكل نبأ مستقر وسوف تعلمون وإذا رأيت الذين يخوضون في آياتنا فأعرض عنهم حتى يخوضوا في حديث غيره وإما ينسينك الشيطان فلا تقعد بعد الذكرى مع القوم الظالمين وما على الذين يتقون من حسابهم من شيء ولكن ذكرى لعلهم يتقون وذر الذين اتخذوا دينهم لعبا ولهوا وغرتهم الحياة الدنيا وذكر به أن تبسل نفس بما كسبت ليس لها من دون الله ولي ولا شفيع وإن تعدل كل عدل لا يؤخذ منها أولئك الذين أبسلوا بما كسبوا لهم شراب من حميم وعذاب أليم بما كانوا يكفرون قل أندعو من دون الله ما لا ينفعنا ولا يضرنا ونرد على أعقابنا بعد إذ هدانا الله كالذي استهوته الشياطين في الأرض حيران له أصحاب يدعونه إلى الهدى ائتنا قل إن هدى الله هو الهدى وأمرنا لنسلم لرب العالمين وأن أقيموا الصلاة واتقوه وهو الذي إليه تحشرون وهو الذي خلق السماوات والأرض بالحق ويوم يقول كن فيكون قوله الحق وله الملك يوم ينفخ في الصور عالم الغيب والشهادة وهو الحكيم الخبير وإذ قال إبراهيم لأبيه آزر أتتخذ أصناما آلهة إني أراك وقومك في ضلال مبين وكذلك نري إبراهيم ملكوت السماوات والأرض وليكون من الموقنين فلما جن عليه الليل رأى كوكبا قال هذا ربي فلما أفل قال لا أحب الآفلين فلما رأى القمر بازغا قال هذا ربي فلما أفل قال لئن لم يهدني ربي لأكونن من القوم الضالين فلما رأى الشمس بازغة قال هذا ربي هذا أكبر فلما أفلت قال يا قوم إني بريء مما تشركون إني وجهت وجهي للذي فطر السماوات والأرض حنيفا وما أنا من المشركين وحاجه قومه قال أتحاجوني في الله وقد هدان ولا أخاف ما تشركون به إلا أن يشاء ربي شيئا وسع ربي كل شيء علما أفلا تتذكرون وكيف أخاف ما أشركتم ولا تخافون أنكم أشركتم بالله ما لم ينزل به عليكم سلطانا فأي الفريقين أحق بالأمن إن كنتم تعلمون الذين آمنوا ولم يلبسوا إيمانهم بظلم أولئك لهم الأمن وهم مهتدون وتلك حجتنا آتيناها إبراهيم على قومه نرفع درجات من نشاء إن ربك حكيم عليم ووهبنا له إسحاق ويعقوب كلا هدينا ونوحا هدينا من قبل ومن ذريته داود وسليمان وأيوب ويوسف وموسى وهارون وكذلك نجزي المحسنين وزكريا ويحيى وعيسى وإلياس كل من الصالحين وإسماعيل واليسع ويونس ولوطا وكلا فضلنا على العالمين ومن آبائهم وذرياتهم وإخوانهم واجتبيناهم وهديناهم إلى صراط مستقيم ذلك هدى الله يهدي به من يشاء من عباده ولو أشركوا لحبط عنهم ما كانوا يعملون أولئك الذين آتيناهم الكتاب والحكم والنبوة فإن يكفر بها هؤلاء فقد وكلنا بها قوما ليسوا بها بكافرين أولئك الذين هدى الله فبهداه مقتده قل لا أسألكم عليه أجرا إن هو إلا ذكرى للعالمين وما قدروا الله حق قدره إذ قالوا ما أنزل الله على بشر من شيء قل من أنزل الكتاب الذي جاء به موسى نورا وهدى للناس تجعلونه قراطيس تبدونها وتخفون كثيرا وعلمتم ما لم تعلموا أنتم ولا آباؤكم قل الله ثم ذرهم في خوضهم يلعبون وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك مصدق الذي بين يديه ولتنذر أم القرى ومن حولها والذين يؤمنون بالآخرة يؤمنون به وهم على صلاتهم يحافظون ومن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا أو قال أوحي إلي ولم يوح إليه شيء ومن قال سأنزل مثل ما أنزل الله ولو ترى إذ الظالمون في غمرات الموت والملائكة باسطوا أيديهم أخرجوا أنفسكم اليوم تجزون عذاب الهون بما كنتم تقولون على الله غير الحق وكنتم عن آياته تستكبرون ولقد جئتمونا فرادا كما خلقناكم أول مرة وتركتم ما خولناكم وراء ظهوركم وما نرى معكم شفعاءكم الذين زعمتم أنهم فيكم شركاء لقد تقطع بينكم وضل عنكم ما كنتم تزعمون إن الله فالق الحب والنوى يخرج الحي من الميت ومخرج الميت من الحي ذلكم الله فأنى تؤفكون فالق الإصباح وجعل الليل سكنا والشمس والقمر حسبانا ذلك تقدير العزيز العليم وهو الذي جعل لكم النجوم لتهتدوا بها في ظلمات البر والبحر قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يعلمون وهو الذي أنشأكم من نفس واحدة فمستقر ومستودع قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يفقهون وهو الذي أنزل من السماء ماء فأخرجنا به نبات كل شيء فأخرجنا منه خضرا نخرج منه حبا متراكبا ومن النخل من طلعها قنوان دانية وجنات من أعناب والزيتون والرمان مشتبها وغير متشابه انظروا إلى ثمره إذا أثمر وينعه إن في ذلكم لآيات لقوم يؤمنون وجعلوا لله شركاء الجن وخلقهم وخرقوا له بنين وبنات بغير علم سبحانه وتعالى عما يصفون بديع السماوات والأرض أنى يكون له ولد ولم تكن له صاحبة وخلق كل شيء وهو بكل شيء عليم ذلكم الله ربكم لا إله إلا هو خالق كل شيء فاعبدوه وهو على كل شيء وكيل لا تدركه الأبصار وهو يدرك الأبصار وهو اللطيف الخبير قد جاء
Hold on. I had to stop you. Oh my god. Oh my goodness. Here, you actually, Hashir, you can always go to my main page and click on my main page. Actually, you don't have to do that. You can go in my description and click my Twitter and send it to me in there. But nonetheless, yeah, it's 3 p.m. here, about to be 3 p.m. Maurice, thank you for asking. Archaeological evidence just confirmed very recently that the ancient Mesopotamians, Abraham's people, had three main deities: sun, moon, and a planet. Oh my gosh! What is that? How recent is that, as far as archaeological evidence? How? What? Oh my god! I'll text you on Twitter. Yo, that is insane. That is insane. Hold on, what Surah was that? Hold on, let me go back to it. Abraham's debates his people. I think it is, right? No, refutes celestial worship. Even the celestial, he doesn't say. He doesn't. They. So that's very interesting. So that makes more. Oh my gosh, that's so insane. That's so insane. When was horoscope? I gotta Google this. I'm sorry, you got me intrigued now. When was horoscopes? Horoscopes. Okay, so astrology originated in Babylon far back in antiquity, with the Babylonians developing their own form of horoscopes around 2,400 years ago. Then, around 2,100 years ago, astrology spread to Eastern Mediterranean, becoming popular in Egypt, which at the time was under the control of the dynasty of Greek kings. Okay, that's what it says on livescience.com. I really want to know. So it was around the second. All right, so before Christ, there was. Per Wikipedia, Babylonian astrology is the earliest recorded organized system of astrology, arising in the second millennium BC before Christ. Okay. Astrology isn't fake, it's just been ruined by modern psychology. I was thinking about horoscopes. I know this is kind of like a segue, but I was thinking about horoscopes because a lot of people really love horoscopes, and horoscopes are predominantly made off of the astrology, so it's like, or based upon it. So I was wondering to myself when it was created, or when it was founded, or people utilized it, because I know for a fact people utilized. Before. If you really want to get into it, like, astrology was utilized in a sense to guide people who utilize the stars as a guidance, or people utilize the stars as a guidance a long time ago in the Egyptian era, like a long time ago, at Mesopotamian too. And that's very intriguing that you brought that up, that in the Mesopotamian times that was brought up. And, because I think, like, it was, if I'm not mistaken, wasn't Mesopotamia also the home of the Zoroastrianism? Because I think that's when the first original thought of God was created, was Zoroastrianism. That's what was recorded. The first original idea of what God was Zoroastrianism, which was very intriguing because the more you think about it over time, it feels as though, I feel like there was always, like, I don't know how accurate Zoroastrianism is, but if you actually look into some of it, like, it actually entails a little bit about, like, the original thought of what God is. And they were saying that, and a lot of historians argue about this, or a lot of people talk about this in school, when I was in school. But so what they taught me in school is that technically all of the monotheistic religions were based upon Zoroastrianism. But supposedly there was a study done that there was actually another monotheistic religion before Zoroastrianism. And, like, supposedly some people argue that, but they said that there was more of a debate what people believe between polytheism and monotheism. And it was just mostly debate before the Zoroastric times. But there was like some people that said supposedly there was actually a monotheistic religions before Zoroastrianism. Zoroastrianism was just one of the most predominant in the Mesopotamian era. And over time, like, when people had, like, this idea of what God really was in his scriptures, over time, like, that got diluted and diluted and diluted. And and Zoroastrianism was one of the most founding monotheistic religions that there were. Over time, like, that's what a lot of people followed. And then supposedly, before the Jews, that was what the original religion was, until God sent the scripture down and provided us a new way of life, which is very intriguing if you think about it. I might be totally wrong about that. Let me Google that. I'm pretty sure, because that's what I heard. That was the last time I looked it up. Was there I mean, look, I'm gonna. You guys got me intrigued now. I really want to do a history search. Was there a monotheistic monotheism before? Okay, so this is actually so there was actually a new study. Was it how old is this study? This might be old. Hold on 1 second. Let me look at the source of this. I think this is an older source of information. I might be totally wrong. Oh, this is a long page, but this is in Britannica. I don't know what Britannica is. Okay, so all right, so I'm just gonna read this really quick. I know we're kind of straying off of here, and I really gotta get stuff done. But anyway, Zoroastrianism, an ancient pre-Islamic religion of Iran that survives there in isolated areas and more prosperously in India, where the descendants of Zoroastrian Iranian Persian immigrants are known as Parsis or Parsis. The Iranian prophet and religious reformer Zarathustra, I don't even know how, Zarathustra, flourished before the 6th century BC. So this is before the 6th century. Oh. More widely known outside of Iran as Zoroaster, the Greek form of the name, is traditionally regarded as the founder of the religion. Zoroastrianism contains both monotheistic and dualistic features. It likely influenced the other major Western religions, Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. For a discussion of the context of which Zoroastrianism arose in ancient Iranian. Okay, so nature and significance. Okay, so I'm gonna read the general thing it was saying. So though Zoroastrianism was never even in the thinking of its founder as insistently monotheistic for instance Judaism or Islam, it does represent an original attempt at unifying under the worship of one supreme God, polytheistic religion comparable to those of the ancient Greeks, Latins, and Indians, and other early people. It was a religion before Zoroastrianism. Prior to Zoroaster, the ancient Persians worshipped the deities of the old Irano-Aryan religion, a counterpart of the Indo-Aryan religion that would come to be known as Hinduism. And there you go. Once again, so there was like an Indo-Aryan belief that even in and the funny thing is they said that in Hinduism, originally the thought was that there was only one God. But over time, it became broken down, and over time, and that it became multiple gods. But that's where the original thought of Zoroastrianism came from, was from Hinduism, or was like a branch of Hinduism. So Hinduism is technically like one of the older religions, but it was more obscure over time of the religion. So hold on, let me get back to your comments because I'm pretty sure I'm missing a whole bunch. Okay, so. Subhanallah. I'm sending you a link on Twitter. It's a man prophet's message channel. Okay, got you. The Zoroastrians worship one main god, Ahura or Mazda. Wait, how? Didn't Zoroaster live after Abraham? I'm not sure. I've shared the link with you. It's based on the source's evidence. It's 9 minutes long. You'll be hooked in the first second. Okay, I've read the Vedas. Read the Vedas of Hinduism. It was clear monotheistic verses. Yeah, exactly. Subhanallah, mashallah. That is beautiful, man. So people say that even though they said that they said that it influenced it, but it wasn't like something that was necessarily derived from it. Monotheism didn't emerge. It's a modern concept and defined. Okay, so thousands of years before these major religions, 100 years later. Okay, so that's very intriguing because because that's very So Zoroastrianism came 4,000 years ago. It was originally reported as 4,000 years ago. So it's one of the first oldest monotheistic religions that's reported that was really reported besides Hinduism. So Hinduism was over time was breaking down into multiple deities, but it was originally believed that there was only one God. So once again, it still kind of goes back to prove that there was other monotheistic religions over time, and that they were all kind of like misconstrued and all kind of turned around for political gain, which is once again is another reason why Islam makes sense, because they say the message over time has been misconstrued due to political gain and also just for power. And and like that's why they changed it up. Which honestly, you kind of think about it, it makes a lot of sense because the more you do, and like the reason why I say that it makes more sense is because it gives people a reason to dominate other areas, and then not only that, once you start making the belief that one religion is broken down into other religions or other deities other than just one, then you have like a issue amongst the people, and those people have no choice but to submit to your will. And the funny thing is like that's exactly what Islam is trying to prevent, from the breaking down of the religion into multiple different sects of different things, because they're afraid, or the people are believe that if the more you break it down, the more people are willing to go further with the religion, and that's where they're kind of drawing the line. So it gives even Islam more of a reason to fight for the reason, or for the fact that there is only one God and there is no other God. So I really think wow, that's really beautiful, man. Because I was about to say Zoroaster. I'm very keen on my history, and I'm pretty sure Zoroastrianism was, what I remember in school, was one of the first reported ones. But I didn't know that it was a sect of it says Irano-Aryan religion, a counterpart of the Indo-Aryan religion that would come to be known as Hinduism. That is very intriguing. Ahura Mazda, the Lord of Wisdom, should be worshipped. I mean, well, technically, but that's kind of intriguing again, because they say in the Quran that God is the all wise. He's the all wise God. It's kind of intriguing. I'm sorry, I'm going on a rant here. Going on a rant. Okay, well, let me refresh the stream because mine's messing up. Okay, all right, but anyway, I ranted on enough. That was very intriguing. For one thing, I'm gonna definitely watch that video, maybe make a reaction to it, and also I really wanted to touch on just one last thing before we continue. We're almost done with the video. We only got maybe 20 minutes left, 15 minutes. Hello Musa, thank you for stopping by. I'm not too sure what you're saying, but assalamu alaikum, wa alaikum assalam if you are responding to me in that way. Hopefully you have a great Ramadan. Thank you for stopping by. But I found something else. So in Taoism, technically they don't believe in God, but they believe that there is a specific nature, or they believe that there is some kind of uniting force, some kind of energy that's ever flowing, and it goes through everything, even us, and also through nature itself. That's why it allows things to flourish and grow. It was intriguing because it talks about God's power of creation, and the first thing you see in Surah 6, chapter 6, Surah 95, indeed, God is the one who causes seeds and fruit stones to sprout. I think we're past that, but I was reading back on it because I wanted to touch on it a little bit. He brings forth the living from the dead and the dead from the living. That is God. How can you then be deluded from the truth? He caused the dawn to break, and he has made the night for the rest, and made the sun and the moon to travel with precision. That is the design of the Almighty and the All-Knowing. And he is the one who has made the stars as your guide through the darkness of the land and sea. We have already made the signs clear for the people who know, and he is the one who originated you all from a single cell, then assigned you a place to live and another to be laid to rest. We have already made the signs clear for people who comprehend, and he is the one who sends down the rain from the sky, causing all kinds of plants to grow, producing green stalks, and from which he bring forth clustered grain, and from the palm trees from clusters of dates hanging within reach. There are also gardens of grapevines, olives, and pomegranates, similar in shape but dissimilar in taste. Look at their fruit as it yields and ripens. Indeed, in these are the signs of the people who believe. That is something that I feel like is similar to Taoism, because it talks about, I just think that first part is very pertinent. Indeed, God is the one who causes seeds and the fruit to stones to sprout. He brings forth the living from the dead and the dead from the living. That is real. That is really, really deep. This is getting very intriguing. Very intriguing. Subhanallah. MashaAllah. Alhamdulillah. He is the sole sovereign of the universe. Rig Veda, one of the four most authoritative scriptures in Hinduism. Rig Veda 636:4. One of them. He is the sole sovereign of the universe. Oh my gosh. There is only one who ought to be adored by the people. Atharva Veda 221. Colebrook in the British Scholar states the ancient Hindu religion was found in the Hindu scriptures. The Vedas recognizes but one God. MashaAllah, alhamdulillah. Oh my gosh. And I never knew that about Hinduism, by the way, until recently. I'm going to be very honest with you. I did not know that that was the truth. I never really cared for it. I'm not going to say I didn't care, but Hinduism wasn't something I looked into too deeply because it was like I believed in karma to an extent because but if you even think about it again, if you think about what you like look at what karma stands for. Even just the basic principle. I'm not talking about you going and being reincarnated as a tree, but I'm just saying the basic principle is that whatever good you do, you get that karma back tenfold, and you get if you do come back, you come back as something else. Like you come back as something that's better. But if you do bad karma, you come back as you don't. That bad karma affects your karma, and you don't come back as something proficient. It's the same thing with the deeds. It's like if you do good deeds, then you're going to go to Jannah. If you do bad deeds, you're going to go to hell. At the end of the day, it's the same thing. It's just a different translation of it, man. And now, 1690, indeed, Allah orders justice and good conduct and giving help to relatives and forbids immorality and bad conduct and oppression. He admonishes you that perhaps you will be reminded. That is insane. I had to study and look into Hinduism deeply as a necessity. I live in Hindu majority country. Oh, where are you from, Hishir? Are you from like Pakistan or from Bangladesh? I don't know. Well, not Bangladesh. I'm still ignorant, so trust me. Like, when you're growing up in school, like, they kind of teach you about these regions and how similar they are, so I really don't know the difference in culture. But I do know that, like, around that area, that I think Urdu is, like, a mixture of, like, the old language of Pakistan with Indonesian language, correct? India. Okay, so you are in India. Okay, making sure. Okay, making sure. But that was, there was somebody I was talking to recently. They're like, you should learn Urdu, and I was just like, But I ain't gonna lie, like I'm not gonna lie, like I think it's Punjabis. Like they isn't so is Punjabi. I'm trying to listen. Forgive my ignorance. Is Punjabi and Pakistanis the same? Are they the same people? Because if I was not mistaken, when you look at Punjabi, that's like the same region, correct? I'm trying to remember. Like, I'm really trying to. I'm ignorant. Pakistani and Bangladesh are Muslim majority countries. India is 80%. India is 80% Hindus and 20% Muslims. Yeah, I know that much because I remember, like, they talk about that all the time. They talk about that all the time. And I remember that video that went viral of that girl getting harassed by all those Indian men, and she was just trying to go to class or something like that. I thought that was really fucked up. I mean, astaghfirullah, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I slipped. Oh, I messed up. It's really messed up that they do that to people out there. That's really cold. It's a really mean thing, disgusting thing. And it's just crazy how much hate people have for one another. And then the thing is, they still teach, and technically in Hinduism, they still teach you have to be kind to people. Like, you're supposed to be still loving and kind to people. Like, even your karma is like your number one thing. Like, you're supposed to care about your karma. If you mess with your karma, then you're messing with everything else. It's like, it's crazy, bro. Pakistani and Bangladesh are Muslim majority. Okay. Because I know Pakistan and Bangladesh are pretty close. Like, they're very, very similar. Very, very close in comparison. But that's crazy. You gotta teach me though more, man. I gotta learn more about the cultures, man. So this is why it's beautiful to learn about different cultures. It's very beautiful. But let me continue. Let me continue. That girl was 1,000 times braver than the dogs chasing her. 100%, and that's a lot because you're actually from there, and you saw saw that, and even though you saw that, um, you still agreed to the fact that that was 100 times braver than those people doing that to her. That and that takes a lot of courage. That takes a lot of bravery, you know, because like sometimes, um, because like sometimes people literally do things that are just so disgusting and obscene and vile, and for a fact you're going to get a bad reaction from people, but people continue to say, I'm going to do what's in my heart. I'm going to continue to stand for what I believe in no matter what. And I think that's way more admirable than somebody that practices a religion that is supposed to be really peaceful and they treat you like crap. Pakistan and Bangladesh used to be one country. Okay, I'm about to say I know for a fact that they're very, very similar, but I don't know the history. I don't know the history too much. Here in the States, we don't really learn the history of like Eastern cultures. We learn we learn about English culture for sure, like the UK, Scotland, and Ireland, and then we learn a lot about our own personal country, and we learn little tidbits, a little bit about other countries, but we don't learn so significantly about their politics. So it's very interesting. But that's very cool, man. But it's still nonetheless, it's I don't know. It's just beautiful, man. When I was a kid, there was like I'm gonna after this I'm gonna keep it going. Alhamdulillah, istiqamah, bro. Hey, what's going on, man? Eunice, thank you for stopping by. Assalamu alaikum to you, brother. Thank you for stopping by. What's istiqamah mean? I'm learning new words every time I come on here. Like I think there's a thing called alhumma, or something like that. I can't remember. But the beautiful thing is that when I was a kid, they had like this little wheel that my mom gave me, and like every time you spit, like on every dial of the wheel, like it was a different culture or a region of the world, and every time you landed the thing on it, it would land on it and it would say like, this is how you say hello in this language. This is how you say hello or goodbye in this language, or this is what you say like not where's the bathroom, but like basic stuff like hello, goodbye. Um, this country is located here in the world, and it will tell you a little bit of a fact about it, and it will actually say like little pieces in a different language, and it was pretty dope. And I used to love that thing because it was like, oh man, there's just so many different cultures and religions and languages that I want. It's not like, obviously I don't think I'll be ever to learn them all, but it's just like I would love to at least experience them all, and that was something that was always been a dream of mine, and I still want to do it. So I'm going to at some point visit different countries and see what it's like. But I digress. Let's get back to the surahs. We got like 20 minutes left, and after that we'll end it.
بصائر من ربكم فمن أبصر فلنفسه ومن عمي فعليها وما أنا عليكم بحفيظ وكذلك نصرف الآيات وليقولوا درست ولنبينه لقوم يعلمون اتبع ما أوحي إليك من ربك لا إله إلا هو وأعرض عن المشركين ولو شاء الله ما أشركوا وما جعلناك عليهم حفيظا وما أنت عليهم بوكيل ولا تسبوا الذين يدعون من دون الله فيسبوا الله عدوا بغير علم كذلك زينا لكل أمة عملهم ثم إلى ربهم مرجعهم فينبئهم بما كانوا يعملون وأقسموا بالله جهد أيمانهم لئن جاءتهم آية ليؤمنن بها قل إنما الآيات عند الله وما يشعركم أنها إذا جاءت لا يؤمنون ونقلب أفئدتهم وأبصارهم كما لم يؤمنوا به أول مرة ونذرهم في طغيانهم يعمهون ولو أننا نزلنا إليهم الملائكة وكلمهم الموتى وحشرنا عليهم كل شيء قبلا ما كانوا ليؤمنوا إلا أن يشاء الله ولكن أكثرهم يجهلون وكذلك جعلنا لكل نبي عدوا شياطين الإنس والجن يوحي بعضهم إلى بعض زخرف القول غرورا ولو شاء ربك ما فعلوه فذرهم وما يفترون ولتصغى إليه أفئدة الذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وليرضوه وليقترفوا ما هم مقترفون أفغير الله أبتغي حكما وهو الذي أنزل إليكم الكتاب مفصلا والذين آتيناهم الكتاب يعلمون أنه منزل من ربك بالحق فلا تكونن من الممترين وتمت كلمة ربك صدقا وعدلا لا مبدل لكلماته وهو السميع العليم وإن تطع أكثر من في الأرض يضلوك عن سبيل الله إن يتبعون إلا الظن وإن هم إلا يخرصون إن ربك هو أعلم من يضل عن سبيله وهو أعلم بالمهتدين فكلوا مما ذكر اسم الله عليه إن كنتم بآياته مؤمنين وما لكم ألا تأكلوا مما ذكر اسم الله عليه وقد فصل لكم ما حرم عليكم إلا ما اضطررتم إليه وإن كثيرا ليضلون بأهوائهم بغير علم إن ربك هو أعلم بالمعتدين وذروا ظاهر الإثم وباطنه إن الذين يكسبون الإثم سيجزون بما كانوا يقترفون ولا تأكلوا مما لم يذكر اسم الله عليه وإنه لفسق وإن الشياطين ليوحون إلى أوليائهم ليجادلوكم وإن أطعتموهم إنكم لمشركون أومن كان ميتا فأحييناه وجعلنا له نورا يمشي به في الناس كمن مثله في الظلمات ليس بخارج منها كذلك زين للكافرين ما كانوا يعملون وكذلك جعلنا في كل قرية أكابر مجرميها ليمكروا فيها وما يمكرون إلا بأنفسهم وما يشعرون وإذا جاءتهم آية قالوا لن نؤمن حتى نؤتى مثل ما أوتي رسل الله أعلم حيث يجعل رسالته سيصيب الذين أجرموا صغار عند الله وعذاب شديد بما كانوا يمكرون فمن يرد الله أن يهديه يشرح صدره للإسلام ومن يرد أن يضله يجعل صدره ضيقا حرجا كأنما يصعد في السماء كذلك يجعل الله الرجس على الذين لا يؤمنون وهذا صراط ربك مستقيما قد فصلنا الآيات لقوم يذكرون لهم دار السلام عند ربهم وهو وليهم بما كانوا يعملون ويوم يحشرهم جميعا يا معشر الجن قد استكثرتم من الإنس وقال أولياؤهم من الإنس ربنا استمتع بعضنا ببعض وبلغنا أجلنا الذي أجلت لنا قال النار مثواكم خالدين فيها إلا ما شاء الله إن ربك حكيم عليم وكذلك نولي بعض الظالمين بعضا بما كانوا يكسبون يا معشر الجن والإنس ألم يأتكم رسل منكم يقصون عليكم آياتي وينذرونكم لقاء يومكم هذا قالوا شهدنا على أنفسنا وغرتهم الحياة الدنيا وشهدوا على أنفسهم أنهم كانوا كافرين ذلك أن لم يكن ربك مهلك القرى بظلم وأهلها غافلون ولكل درجات مما عملوا وما ربك بغافل عما يعملون وربك الغني ذو الرحمة إن يشأ يذهبكم ويستخلف من بعدكم ما يشاء كما أنشأكم من ذرية قوم آخرين إنما توعدون لآت وما أنتم بمعجزين قل يا قوم اعملوا على مكانتكم إني عامل فسوف تعلمون من تكون له عاقبة الدار إنه لا يفلح الظالمون وجعلوا لله مما ذرأ من الحرث والأنعام نصيبا فقالوا هذا لله بزعمهم وهذا لشركائنا فما كان لشركائهم فلا يصل إلى الله وما كان لله فهو يصل إلى شركائهم ساء ما يحكمون وكذلك زين لكثير من المشركين قتل أولادهم شركاؤهم ليردوهم وليلبسوا عليهم دينهم ولو شاء الله ما فعلوه فذرهم وما يفترون وقالوا هذه أنعام وحرث حجر لا يطعمها إلا من نشاء بزعمهم وأنعام حرمت ظهورها وأنعام لا يذكرون اسم الله عليها افتراء عليه سيجزيهم بما كانوا يفترون وقالوا ما في بطون هذه الأنعام خالصة لذكورنا ومحرم على أزواجنا وإن يكن ميتة فهم فيه شركاء سيجزيهم وصفهم إنه حكيم عليم قد خسر الذين قتلوا أولادهم سفها بغير علم وحرموا ما رزقهم الله افتراء على الله قد ضلوا وما كانوا مهتدين وهو الذي أنشأ جنات معروشات وغير معروشات والنخل والزرع مختلفا أكله والزيتون والرمان متشابها وغير متشابه كلوا من ثمره إذا أثمر وآتوا حقه يوم حصاده ولا تسرفوا إنه لا يحب المسرفين. ومن الأنعام حمولة وفرشا كلوا مما رزقكم الله ولا تتبعوا خطوات الشيطان إنه لكم عدو مبين. 8 أزواج من الضأن 2 ومن المعز 2 قل أذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين أما اشتملت عليه أرحام الأنثيين نبئوني بعلم إن كنتم صادقين. ومن الإبل 2 ومن البقر 2 قل أذكرين حرم أم الأنثيين أما اشتملت عليه أرحام الأنثيين أم كنتم شهداء إذ وصاكم الله بهذا فمن أظلم ممن افترى على الله كذبا ليضل الناس بغير علم إن الله لا يهدي القوم الظالمين. قل لا أجد فيما أوحي إلي محرما على طاعم يطعمه إلا أن يكون ميتة أو دما مسفوحا أو لحم خنزير فإنه رجس أو فسقا أهل لغير الله به فمن اضطر غير باغ ولا عاد فإن ربك غفور رحيم. وعلى الذين هادوا حرمنا كل ذي ظفر ومن البقر والغنم حرمنا عليهم شحومهما إلا ما حملت ظهورهما أو الحوايا أو ما اختلط بعظم ذلك جزيناهم ببغيهم وإنا لصادقون. فإن كذبوك فقل ربكم ذو رحمة واسعة ولا يرد بأسه عن القوم المجرمين. سيقول الذين أشركوا لو شاء الله ما أشركنا ولا آباؤنا ولا حرمنا من شيء كذلك كذب الذين من قبلهم حتى ذاقوا بأسنا قل هل عندكم من علم فتخرجوه لنا إن تتبعون إلا الظن وإن أنتم إلا تخرصون. قل فلله الحجة البالغة فلو شاء لهداكم أجمعين. قل هلم شهداءكم الذين يشهدون أن الله حرم هذا، فإن شهدوا فلا تشهد معهم، ولا تتبع أهواء الذين كذبوا بآياتنا والذين لا يؤمنون بالآخرة وهم بربهم يعدلون. قل تعالوا أتل ما حرم ربكم عليكم ألا تشركوا به شيئا وبالوالدين إحسانا ولا تقتلوا أولادكم من إملاق، نحن نرزقكم وإياهم، ولا تقربوا الفواحش ما ظهر منها وما بطن، ولا تقتلوا النفس التي حرم الله إلا بالحق، ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تعقلون. ولا تقربوا مال اليتيم إلا بالتي هي أحسن حتى يبلغ أشده، وأوفوا الكيل والميزان بالقسط، لا نكلف نفسا إلا وسعها، وإذا قلتم فاعدلوا ولو كان ذا قربى، وبعهد الله أوفوا، ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تذكرون. وأن هذا صراطي مستقيما فاتبعوه ولا تتبعوا السبل فتفرق بكم عن سبيله، ذلكم وصاكم به لعلكم تتقون. ثم آتينا موسى الكتاب تماما على الذي أحسن وتفصيلا لكل شيء وهدى ورحمة لعلهم بلقاء ربهم يؤمنون. وهذا كتاب أنزلناه مبارك فاتبعوه واتقوا لعلكم ترحمون. أن تقولوا إنما أنزل الكتاب على طائفتين من قبلنا وإن كنا عن دراستهم لغافلين. أو تقولوا لو أنا أنزل علينا الكتاب لكنا أهدى منهم، فقد جاءكم بينة من ربكم وهدى ورحمة، فمن أظلم ممن كذب بآيات الله وصدف عنها، سنجزي الذين كانوا يصدفون. هل ينظرون يوم يأتي بعض آيات ربك لا ينفع نفسا إيمانها لم تكن آمنت من قبل أو كسبت في بمكانها خيرا قل انتظروا إنا منتظرون إن الذين فرقوا دينهم وكانوا شيعا لست منهم في شيء إنما أمرهم إلى الله ثم ينبئهم بما كانوا يفعلون من جاء بالحسنة فله عشر أمثالها ومن جاء بالسيئة فلا يجزى إلا مثلها وهم لا يظلمون قل إنني هداني ربي إلى صراط مستقيم دينا قيما ملة إبراهيم حنيفا وما كان من المشركين قل إن صلاتي ونسكي ومحياي ومماتي لله رب العالمين لا شريك له وبذلك أمرت وأنا أول المسلمين قل أغير الله أبغي ربا وهو رب كل شيء ولا تكسب كل نفس إلا عليها ولا تزر وازرة وزر أخرى إلى ربكم مرجعكم فينبئكم درجات ليبلوكم فيما آتاكم إن ربك سريع العقاب وإنه لغفور رحيم.
Wow, that was a really good one. I like that one too, man. This is getting better and better as I read it as I go along. Because it's giving more more decisive and more like it was kind of like it was saying. To be honest with you, what it was saying in the beginning, like it was like if I'm going to recap this a little bit, but it says like the previous chapter, this Meccan chapter masterly demonstrates God's power and knowledge and thoroughly refutes pagan beliefs and unfounded practices, including animal offerings to idols. Permissible and prohibited foods are explained in more detail than in the previous chapter. The nature of the prophethood is defined, making it clear that a messenger cannot do anything without God's will. This chapter begins by highlighting God's authority, just like the ending of the previous chapter, and concludes by emphasizing accountability for one's deeds, just like the beginning of the next chapter. So come on, man. This is getting ridiculous. What is going on with the internet? Oh my gosh. I'm so sorry, guys. I know that the stream is probably messing up. Oh my gosh, not again. Come on, man. Astaghfirullah. Go back up. Like, what's going on? Like, see, if I play my game right now, I'll have perfect internet. I won't have any issue. Okay. Okay. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and... You're going to literally stay at 0? Is what we're doing now? Okay. Come on, just go up for a little bit. I just need a little bit of time to speak. Come on. Then I'll end the stream. It's lagging, I know. Okay, so I have... Dang, before I can speak, can I speak for a second? Okay, so all right, so I want to go ahead and get ready to end the stream soon. My internet is already starting to act up. I'm starting to notice, yeah, Shaitan is definitely hacking my internet, but I'm starting to notice around like 2 hours and some change, almost 3 hours, the internet starts to mess up a little bit on the stream. So maybe that's probably why. But nonetheless, we're already done. I'm gonna go ahead and end the stream here. This was a good one once again. I look forward to the next stream and hopefully things get a little bit better, get a little bit smoother. I'm gonna try to make. I swear, man, like these streams are just a little too long. Maybe that's why I strained the internet a little bit. But we only got like two more. Oh man, we got like one more chapter left actually, or two more that are like an hour long, and after that, we're literally done with our chapters. So the next one will be Surah Al Araf, which will be the next one. After we get to that one, it will go down to 30 minutes, so we won't be live very long. I can probably get back into my routine of making videos again. So, inshallah, we'll see how that goes. But once again, this was a beautiful chapter. I like how it does talk more about the deeds and how like good deeds matter more than anything, and that your belief matters more. And that the pagans are literally just pretty much like if they just purpose like at this point, like people are just going to purposely just not listen and follow the belief. Then honestly, there's not much we can do. They're bound to be sent to a different place, and which I understand because like some people are, and especially it talks about how people are ignorant and like they um pretty much just disregard the entire religion. They don't even care for it. They don't even really follow it. And it really does speak on a lot about that. It also speaks on particularly like what you can and cannot eat, and it does bring up in this surah about how like not just the foods that are bloody, like our blood, are is falling from it, that it's already been eaten and it's a carcass. You can't just eat that. You can't eat swine. You can also eat food that is also not worship in the name of God first. You have to eat food that's worshiped in the name of God first before you can um, eat it. So that's why it's haram. So it makes more sense for that now. So I totally get that. Like if it hasn't been killed in the name of God, then you shouldn't eat it. So that makes a lot of sense because technically, if you're killing something and eating it just for its sake, then you're not really paying. And honestly, I was talking to a friend that's not even Muslim, but he even says a prayer before he even kills and goes hunting here in the States, and like it's just natural to pray about the food that you're killing and eating because even though it's an animal, you're still taking its life, and then you're utilizing its body as a source of food, and you still should praise God for that because if you didn't have these things, then you wouldn't be able to survive. But nonetheless, this was once again it was very very good. It talks about people waiting for their apocalypse. It talks about the rights between wrong and right. It does highlight a bunch of that, so that was very very good. So I look forward. I definitely look forward to the next video. Not next video. I look forward to the next one, which will be Surah the Heights or Al Araf. That will be very interesting to read. Once again, that will be an hour and 20 minutes. So, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. We're probably going to have to. Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Walaikum assalam, Hashir. Appreciate you. But the next one's gonna be an hour 20 minutes. For the next surah. So, guys, let me just tell you, I'm not gonna try to waste any time for the next one tomorrow. Then tomorrow it will be we're gonna literally listen to majority. I'm not gonna talk. I'm not gonna speak too much. I'm just gonna cut right to the chase and just start listening and reading it because I want to read and follow along too. I do notice that some of the translation is a little off. Maybe somebody that doesn't really speak English really well made this. But it's perfectly fine. I got the English version here, so I can just read and follow along. I'm actually going to probably get like the actual version of this, but nonetheless, I think I've spoken a lot. Assalamu alaikum, brother. Salam from Indonesia. Walaikum assalam, Farah. Thank you for coming, sister. I appreciate you. We're about to end the stream, actually, but I thank you so much for stopping by and everyone that came by the stream. I'm going to just go ahead and end it here. But nonetheless, thank you so much for watching. Assalamu alaikum, rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Peace and love to y'all. Have a great day.